Excuse me. Today we celebrate the feast of the Holy Family. And this occurs on every Sunday between Christmas and New Year's Day. So today we celebrate the gift of family, your family and my family. I mention my family because, as most of you know, I'm an ordained permanent deacon and I have children and a family. But for most of my adult life, and that's the key word, adult life, I have thought of myself primarily as a husband to my wife and a father to my children. And that's the way it should be. I had to take care of my own family. But actually, this reading from Sirach tonight, this first reading, a 3,000-year-old reading of a son's relationship with his father, a father who is sick and aging and very frail, has really impacted my life. This reading profoundly changed my relationship with my aging father. I have given this homily before, but it really bears repeating with the number of children we have now in our parish. After my mother died, my 83-year-old dad was getting, microphone, get this straight here. After my mother died, my 83-year-old dad was getting very old, and he wasn't able to really take care of himself. He didn't have Alzheimer's, but he was becoming very forgetful. He could not remember if he had lunch, or for that matter, what he even had for lunch. But he could remember what he had at a fish fry and Lake Whitefish in Minnesota 70 years ago. Even if his mind fails, take care of your father. My brother and I decided that the nursing home would be the best spot for my dad, and we located one down here in Wilmette, right off of Lake Street. And like a dutiful son, I visited my dad every Sunday. It was down here in Wilmette, like I mentioned. Because of my dad's German heritage, he loved beer and cheese, sharp cheddar cheese. So every Sunday, I would take 2 cans of beer and some sharp cheddar cheese over to visit with my dad. My son, take care of your father when he is old. I did not really enjoy visiting my dad. That's the whole point of this homily. It was just, I found it very difficult every Sunday to visit my own father, my own dad. This whole nursing home environment is, I think, that's something most of us don't really enjoy. If I ask for a show of hands of those who enjoy visiting nursing homes, I don't think I'd see too many raised out there. But when I was visiting my dad, I was there in body, but I was not there in spirit. I wasn't really going over to visit him with a good frame of mind. In essence, it was a tedious chore every Sunday. It was a box to be checked off on my to-do list every Sunday to go to visit him. Now, this first reading today from Sirach is read every single year, like I mentioned, on the Sunday between Christmas and New Year's. The second and third readings rotate every single year on the cycle. But at any rate, on one Holy Family Sunday, my dad had been there about a year. I was sitting out here on the left side of the church, about a third of the way back, when they started to read this reading, and a couple lines hit me right between the eyes. Whoever honors his father atones for sins. Whoever reveres his father will live a long life. My son, take care of your father when he is old. Even if his mind fails, be considered, for kindness to a father will not be forgotten. As if it was just as if I just kind of sat there stunned when I heard those words. I didn't know what to do. It was as if the Lord had taken an arrow and driven it straight into my heart. It was as if the Lord had grabbed me and shook me up. And he said to me, Jim Revord, you're not cutting it with your father. You're dogging it, and you know it. And you've got a poor attitude when you go to visit your dad, and you know it. It was as if the Lord was shaking me right there in the pew. I sat in the pew just stunned, didn't know what to do, because he was right. I did have a poor attitude when I visited my dad. I was being very selfish. I was thinking of how the time spent at the nursing home intruded on my time, my day, and my well-being. This reading from Sirach completely turned me around. I sat there and I just started thinking of the words, and I was a changed man. It was like Ebenezer Scrooge on Christmas morning. I couldn't wait for the day to begin. I couldn't wait for Mass to end. I rushed home, grabbed a couple of cans of beer, got the cheese, and exceeded the speed limit going down Lake Street to see my dad. I bounded into his room with an enthusiasm and a joy that I tried to maintain this enthusiasm and joy until he died 2 years later. I may not have looked any different on the outside to my dad, but on the inside, I was a changed person. My motive for being there went far beyond what I should do to be a good son. From that time until he died 2 years later, I tried to visit every visit with him in joy and love and a complete understanding of any frailties that he may have, all because of this reading from Sirach. If this 3,000-year-old reading and my personal experience through this homily, it just touches one person today, be it a son or a daughter or brother or sister, to be kinder and more charitable to a parent or a sibling, then I will have accomplished what I've set out to accomplish. It may not apply to you today, or maybe not tomorrow, but sometime in the future, you'll have the opportunity to visit an aging relative. Hopefully this reading will come into your mind. And to finish this homily off, I have tried to take the reading from Sirach, and I've updated it to make it a little more current with a couple of key lines, make it more gender inclusive, to bring it into the year 2023, almost 2024. My rewrite would be this, my revision: a son or daughter who honors their father or mother atones for sins. They store up riches for themselves. My son or daughter, take care of your parents when they are old. Even if their mind fails, be considerate of them. For kindness to a father or mother is not forgotten. It'll be a sin offering. It will take lasting root. It'll take lasting root in Glenview, in Wilmette, or in Morton Grove. So I know that there are some of you here today who are struggling with either an aging parent or a relative of some sort. So this reading from Sirach, if it really touches you, you could tear out the page from the missalette. We're not going to use it again either. Or better yet, if you got your smartphone, go to Sirach chapter 3, verses 2 to 6 or 12 to 14. Just get Sirach chapter 3. That'll give you the whole nine yards, so to speak. And in closing, I like to finish this homily with a short quote from St. John Paul II about family. Quote, "There is no age when one ceases to be a father or mother or son or daughter. We have a special responsibility not only towards those to whom we have given the gift of life, our children, but a special responsibility towards those from whom we have received the gift of life, our parents." End of quote. Have a happy, Holy Family Sunday.
Thank you for participating in this production of our virtual Mass. Your presence means so much. Every day, so many parishioners connect to OLPH through the digital ministry. The digital ministry is one of almost 80 ministries supported by the parish. That's why your support of the parish is crucial, so we can continue to have the resources to fund all of our ministries that touch the lives of many. Thank you for watching, continue to watch, and thanks again for your support.